pure, so true. Thank you, Hashem, what is right and what is wrong, and it lights the path. So thank you, Hashem, for each breath I take, for the strength to return, for the courage to keep going forward.
Songs on Tshuva Music, our channel. No, I don't go to parades.
When I rise, your truth shining in my eyes. Shema Yisrael, I call your name, forever and ever praise your name. Walking the correct path every single day.
Hashem Hashem Na'aseh v'Natzliach, Shiur Torah, Bruchim Habayim, Shavua Tov. We're back here on our Sunday night Shiur Torah with the foundational teachings of Chassidut based on the Tzetel Katan by Rabbi Elimelech of Lizhenk. Tonight's shiur is going to be for the Refuah Shlema and Hatzlacha Rabba for Rabbi Ephraim ben Shulamit, Rabbanit Sarah bat Anat, Rabbanit Levana bat Sarah, Sarah bat Levana, Avi Mori David ben Nesriya, Imi Morati Doris bat Zora, and all of Am Yisrael and all the righteous Noahis that continue to learn with us, continue to support the organization, and Be'ezrat Hashem continue to grow. Anyone that wants to support and get more miracles in their life can go and donate at our website, on our website, be'ezrathashem.org. There are multiple options to donate. You can choose from over there. Just to give you guys another wonderful miracle story to start off the day. As you know, we during the Rosh HaShanah campaigns and the big holiday campaigns, we publicized a bunch of personalized miracles that some of our supporters have had, and literally just the stories that they told are never getting old. But we continue to get more, especially for those that support seriously and do with Mesirut Nefesh. And we just got another one last night. One of our very dear Talmidim that really tries very hard. Him and his wife try very hard, not only with tshuva and ma'asim tovim, but they try very hard, despite any difficulties that are in their way, to support Be'ezrat Hashem, support the Avrechim, and donate maaser, donate as much as they possibly can. And despite many difficulties, I can emphasize the difficulties, but last night, Motzei Shabbat, I got a fantastic news from him, and he tells me a miracle has happened. Somebody that he hasn't spoken to in over a decade reached out to him a few months ago and told him, by the way, I can get you to back pay that you haven't gotten from the company that used to work. He's like, oh, sure. All you got to do is just apply here. And, usually when people have these brilliant ideas of, apply here, it usually, amounts to nothing. It's usually one of those things where people say, listen, apply here and Bill Gates will send you $100. Apply here and Elon Musk will give you a Tesla. All types of nonsense. But he went forward with it, and literally just in the last 48 hours, he got over 10 years of back pay that was owed to him, sent directly to his bank. Literally an unbelievable miracle, not only resolving any of their financial issues that they had, but actually putting them ahead. And of course, the first thing he does is give maaser. He understood clearly where the blessing came from, where the miracles come from. It's all from support of the Torah, of organization, that all we do is try to publicize HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name, and that's why those that are seriously dedicated to supporting see literal miracles in their life. So this is just another one of these wonderful stories. You'll get to hear it from him at some point as well, and we got a bunch of them, but I figured I'd start off the week with a wonderful story. So, Rabotai Karim, everyone likes to hear success stories. Everyone likes to hear wonderful things that happen to wonderful people, and sometimes not necessarily wonderful people. It's interesting that people love to watch stories of success, but the ones that watch stories of success most often are usually the people that are too lazy and stubborn to do it themselves. That's why they have so much time to watch success stories. Rabbi Elimelech of Lizhenk's Tzetel Katan is going to enter the inner workings of the Yetzer Hara and how he controls our minds and our hearts if we do not fight him back. And Rabbi Elimelech gives us clear guidance of how to defeat these two character traits that are literally destruction of any hope of success that a person could have come from these two character traits, laziness and stubbornness. While some people have a more chronic decision than others, and I've met some of them over the years, everyone has to fight the inner inclinations that try to creep into their lives, especially when it comes to Avodat HaShem, serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But the reality is, Rabotai, is that these lessons are crucial lessons to every single person watching. And certainly, if you follow these teachings for the next 40 days, it will change your life. And I'm looking forward to hearing some more success stories at that time frame for those of you that actually do it. Rabbi Elimelech started section 16 last week by saying, human beings are created in this world only so that they might break their natural inclinations, and therefore a person should strive to fix his personality traits when he is 18 years old, as I will explain. For instance, a person who is naturally stubborn should break this trait by doing precisely the opposite of what comes to his mind to do for 40 consecutive days. Similarly, a person who is innately lazy should practice doing everything quickly for 40 days, whether on the way to bed at night or getting out of bed in the morning. He should dress quickly, wash his hands, and relieve himself, and immediately after studying from a sefer, go quickly to the synagogue to pray. So here Rabbi Elimelech is giving us the potion of success. But at the same token, in order to succeed, we need to know and identify what the poisonous potion of failure is. And he's telling us here, number one, you need to know that in order for you to succeed, you can increase your chances if you make these changes when you are young. Certainly you can make the changes later on in your life, but if you are 18 years old or younger, you certainly will have a lot higher likelihood of success, of uprooting these things. And the two first horrible character traits that Rabbi Elimelech is going to try to help us uproot are stubbornness and laziness. Rabbi Elimelech, in his sefer about Parashat Shavua, talks about, in Parashat Tzav, says that a person who wants to break negative traits should conduct himself in exactly the opposite way. For instance, if he's inclined to anger, he should work on being compassionate. If he's arrogant, he should humble himself completely, one trait contrasting the other. If he's stingy, which is a terrible trait, he must work to overcome it. Then, when he fixes his personality traits and can act properly for the rest of his life, he will be happy in this world and fortunate in the world to come. So here, Rabbi Elimelech tells us again the same message in different words of how beneficial it is to fix these traits. Why it's necessary to do it so young, we'll get to. Why these specific traits, we'll get to. But first, we need to know what's at stake here. He further says in Parashat Tzav, ultimately a person will come to a high level when he's totally divorced from these lower inclinations by sanctifying them. His inborn negative qualities will never surface in him again, for everything has been greatly sanctified. Furthermore, in Parashat Tazria, and the Noam Elimelech says, these improper traits are the root of all sins. It's because of these bad Middot, these bad character traits, that a person transgresses God's will. So anyone that struggles with continuously being addicted to the same sin Rabbi Elimelech uncovers a diamond here and tells us the root of that sin is not the sin itself, but rather the negative character trait that's within you that is leading you to that sin. It gets deeper. He further says, if you want to fulfill a mitzvah perfectly, you must first sanctify and refine your negative traits, such as pride, jealousy, hatred, anger, etc. The more refined your personality, the more valuable will be your mitzvot. It's impossible for your mitzvot to be free of all dross unless your character is also completely pure. So here, Rabbi Elimelech puts it out pretty clearly that if we fix our character traits, we are destined to success. Pick a different place for the book. Now the question is, why 18 years old? We glossed over it last week. Why 18 years old? But of course, everything has to be done appropriately. To delve into it because everything is in it. That's how the Torah works. Chazal teaches us in multiple places in the Tanakh, we see that although a boy becomes a man at 13 years old in Judaism, there's also this aspect of the Nar becomes an Ish, also becomes a man, the next stage of being a man at 18 years old. Now, multiple places in the Torah, in the Sefer Dvarim, Parashat Shoftim, chapter 20, verse 19, says, Ki Adam Etz HaSadeh, that because a man is the tree of the field. And the Baalei Musar says that here we see that the man is being compared to a tree. And this man, we're referring to someone that is 18 years old. Now, when a person makes changes from the root, meaning at an earlier age, it's easier to succeed. And as Rabbi Ephraim explains that, as an analogy, if a person plants a tree, as we see the man is compared to a tree, if a person plants a tree but it's crooked, then the tree will grow crooked. You planted it crooked, it'll grow crooked. But if you planted it originally crooked, the boy came when his mother was nida. The boy came when the parents were fighting. The boy came when all types of issues that violated Torah. But you straighten it while it's still early. The parents do tshuva while the kids are still young. The kid himself takes charge of his own life and starts doing tshuva early on when he's still young. Then guess what? Just like the tree that was planted crooked, but later on, shortly later on, was straightened out, the tree will eventually grow straight. They put all types of support sticks on it to straighten the tree, and you see that it continues to grow straight as if it was never planted crooked. The same concept with man. If you make the changes early on, you're going to have a higher likelihood of success. This doesn't mean that those that are older have no chance of success, but the point is that it becomes more difficult. Why? Because these traits that a person has in them are more ingrained into their personality. In Sefer Shmuel, Shmuel Aleph, chapter 2, verse number 33. We see something horrible happening, where Elkanah HaNavi comes to Eli HaKohen, Kohen Gadol, and tells him that he's going to be punished because of his two sons. What happened? In verse number 22, it says, Eli, this is referring to Eli HaKohen, this is the Kohen Gadol. Eli became very old, and he heard about all that his sons were doing to all of Israel, and that they would lie with the women who congregated at the entrance of the tent of meeting. So he said to them, why do you do such things? For I hear of your evil deeds from all these people. No, my sons, for the report that I hear Hashem's people passing on is not good. If man sins against man, a judge tries him. But if he sins against Hashem, who can speak in his defense? But they would not listen to their father's voice, for Hashem desired to kill them. So here we see that Eli became aware of the evil acts of his sons and rebuked them. But they didn't listen, and he kept them on the job. That was his mistake. Later on, in verse number 27, it says, a man of God came to Eli and said to him, who is this man of God? Rashi says it was Elkanah. And he gave him a message from Hashem. Thus said Hashem, did I not appear to your ancestors' family when they were in Egypt, enslaved to the house of Paro, and choose him from among all the tribes of Israel to be a Kohen to me, to ascend to my altar, to burn incense, to wear the ephod before me? And didn't I give your ancestors' family all the fire offerings of the children of Israel? Why do you scorn my sacrifice and my meal offerings, which I have commanded to be brought in my dwelling place? And you honor your sons more than me, to fatten yourselves from the choicest parts of all the offerings of Israel before my people. Here, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is rebuking Eli, because although he rebuked his sons, when they didn't listen to him, he let it be. Failed rebuke has to be followed by another rebuke until it changes, especially when it's your kids. But Eli didn't do that. And the Chachamim teach in the Gemara that Eli's sons didn't actually lie with the women. What they would do is that they wanted to be overly stringent, like some people pretend to be. And they told people, listen, the Korban, it's not going to make it in time. It's not good enough. You're going to have to stay here the night. You can't go back home to your husband. You're going to have to figure out another solution tomorrow. Or in other places, the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah says that they would go to people and force them to give them their share, even if that share didn't really belong to the Kohanim. In so many words, they pushed their power, they pushed their position. And the reason why it says they lied with women is because they forced women to stay overnight at the Bet HaMikdash instead of going back to their homes, to their husbands. So the Hashem counted it just like similar to Reuven's sin when he moved the bed of his father. He made it, even though he just moved the bed, Torah says, he lied with, as if he married one of the wives of Yaakov, which was, obviously he didn't. But the point is that when you get in the middle of Shlom Bayit, you create Shlom Bayit problems, it's as if you committed adultery. I know that some people don't realize the mistakes that they make, but I can assure you that as time passes, they'll see that their mistakes literally destroyed their lives. There was one person that decided to take it upon herself to encourage a woman to leave her husband. Why? She didn't like the husband, even though he wasn't her husband. So what did she do? She encouraged the woman to leave her husband. She said, nah, you don't need him, you don't this, you don't that. Well, guess what? The woman ran away from her husband, and that's it, divorced. Now, the woman that said to him may not even realize it to this day, that shortly after that happened, she got really sick and continued getting sick. And her life became very, very miserable. But she does not have even an ounce of truth looking in her direction because she runs away from it. And I would not be surprised if this horrible situation that she created creates more horrible things in her life. Why? when you cause people problems in their marriage, don't think that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not paying attention. So here we see that Eli HaKohen is rebuked by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But the rebuke does not finish there. Furthermore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Eli, behold, days are coming when I shall cut off your arm and the arm of your father's family, from there being any old person in your family. And you will see a rival Kohen in my dwelling place throughout all the good times that he will bring upon Israel. But there will be no old people in your family for all time. But I will not completely cut off any of your men from upon my altar, to make your eyes pine and your soul sad. And all those raised in your house will die as young men. This will be the sign for you, that which will befall your two sons, Hophni and Pinchas. They will both die on the same day. Horrible of all horrible curses are being brought upon Eli HaKohen. This is Eli. Eli was a tzaddik. He wasn't a rasha. He was a tzaddik. He's the rabbi of Shmuel and Navi. But he did not rebuke his children the right way. He let things go. And this created a very serious problem. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu says he's going to kill both of his sons, which he did. And if that was not enough, every one of his descendants will die young. What does that mean? Fast forward hundreds of years. Gemara, Masechet Rosh HaShanah, says as follows, page 18a. Rabbi and Abaye both descended from the house of Eli. Two great sages that are in practically every other page in the Gemara, both descended from the house of Eli. How so? How do we know this? They knew their lineage, but they lived a long life, or relatively speaking, where it says that Rabbi lived for 40 years, meaning past the 18 years that you become a man. And Abaye lived 60 years. How could this be if there's a curse? The Gemara says as follows. The sages taught there was once a family in Yerushalayim whose members would die when they were only 18 years old. Every kid, 18 years old, happy birthday, bury him. Happy birthday, he's gone. Say Kaddish, Shem Yerachem. Horrible of horribles. This family came to Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai, Gdol Hador. Tell him this predicament. Told him, listen, every one of our kids, wonderful kids, nice kids, 18th birthday, they die, one after another. And it's not just one, it's not just two, one after another. What do we do? Is there a zgula? Is there some type of blessing? What can we do? Says Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai, perhaps you are from the family of Eli, concerning whom the Torah says that all those raised in your house will die as young men? He said, yes, we are. We didn't know what that meant. We didn't know about it. Okay. Go and engage in Torah study and live. That's your answer. They went, they engaged in Torah study, and they lived. And they changed the name of their family to the family of Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai. After him. The descendants from them are Rabbi and Abaye. So from here we learn a few things. First, we see that the family understood their problem, as it was very clear, and was not stubborn to say, when the rabbi said, listen, you have to tell your kids, dedicate their entire life to Torah. That's the one thing that's going to overcome it. Why? Because the world stands on three things, and Torah is the foundation of everything. It can overcome any negative thing that's happening in your life. But it has to be complete mesirut nefesh, complete sacrifice for Torah. They weren't stubborn. They weren't lazy. They took advantage of what Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai said to them, and their kids lived. Not only lived, but became Gdolei Ador. So the first thing we see is the importance of Torah, how it could literally change a decree. If you're sick, if you're poor, lonely, whatever it is that's happening in your life, you want to change the decree? Dedicate your life to Torah. 2, the importance of chesed, gemilut chasadim. We see the difference between Rabbi and Abaye. One big difference is that Abaye did kiruv. He not only did Torah, but he also did chesed. He did kiruv. That's why he's in practically every page of the Gemara. He taught Torah to the masses. That gave him an extra 20 years. Instead of living 40, he lived 60. 3, we also see akarat tov, gratefulness. How the family recognized where the blessing came from, and they changed their family name to Rabban Yochanan. Not that the rabbi needs it, but it's important for them to know where the blessing comes from. Now, if they were stubborn and wouldn't want to listen to Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai, and instead say, you know what, this rabbi is saying we have to learn Torah all day, we have a business, we want careers, we want our kids to be lawyers, doctors, we want our kids to be this, to be that, let's go to a different rabbi. Let's go to a fortune teller. Let's go to one of the witchcrafts in the other religion. Then guess what? Their kids would have continued dying at 18 years old. If they were lazy and said, listen, you know what? Okay, we'll learn some Torah, honey. Learn an hour a day. Read some Mesilat Yesharim. Read some nice books of Musar for an hour a day. And the rest of the day, go and work. Make money for the family. Build yourself a name in the business world. Guess what? The kid would have never seen that business world. He would have died at 18. So we see here that they overcame any evil inclination towards laziness and stubbornness, and that brought their success. Now, why is 18 such a critical time? It's a time that a person becomes a man. But in fact, the Rambam says it's not 18 years, but rather 17 years in one day, because that's already the 18th year. That's already the 18th year. Either way, at that time of a person's life, there's major things that happen. In fact, the Ramban, Nachmanides, says that the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination that a person will have to fight with his whole life, is what he has brought upon himself, what sins he's brought upon himself, what negative character traits he's brought upon himself during those first 18 years. As it says, Yetzer Hara min nehorav, Yetzer Hara is from his young days, meaning the Yetzer Hara that he's accumulated throughout his young days, his young years, that is what he's going to have to fight with for the rest of his life. If he followed all types of immorality, all types of sins, all types of things for the first 18 years, let himself loose, do whatever he wants, he's going to have to deal with that for the next few decades of his life. Now, every one of us has certain character traits we wish we did not have. They cause problems. They cause problems in marriage. They cause problems in getting married for some people. They cause problems with succeeding at work. They cause problems with even getting work. They cause all types of problems. But Rabbi Elimelech starts with 2 destroyers of success. That if a person does not overcome these 2 traits, he is certain to fail a whole lot more than norm in every aspect of their life. The first one, Rabbi Elimelech says, is stubbornness. A stubborn person. The Chazon Ish says that when a person is looking for a shidduch, to find the right wife to build a family with, instead of what people usually spend their time with, thinking how she looks and how much money she has and how much this and how much that. There's one main thing that a person needs to look at. Is she stubborn? If she's stubborn, you may want to look elsewhere. Because even if she's beautiful, even if she's rich, if she's stubborn, you're going to have a very difficult life. Why? Says the Chazon Ish. Even if she has other bad traits, she's a big spender, she's too stingy, she's this, she's that, all of those traits are changeable so long as she's not stubborn. But if she's stubborn, she's not going to talk. She's not going to let you talk. She's not going to let you entice her in doing anything. If she's stubborn, she will not let you move forward, because the stubbornness is rooted from arrogance, that she has to have her way. It's rooted from anger, where I can't believe you even want something different than I do. It's rooted from chasing honor, where she is stubborn and she has to be right, even if she knows she's wrong. It's rooted from the love of honor. She likes people to know, look, yeah, he listened to me. She listens to me. And last but not least, it's also rooted in the desire to insult other people. Of her standing her ground, despite whether it's profitable or not, despite whether it's right or not. And that's why such a wife be very, very difficult to deal with. The same, of course, is with a husband. So why did Hashem create stubbornness? Says the same Chazon Ish, that in Avodat HaShem, in serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if he is stubborn, he will succeed. How could it be? If you use that stubbornness to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you'll succeed. Why? Because in serving Hashem, there are going to be times that you fall. You fall for one of the tests. You fall for one of the desires. You fall for one of the sins. If you're stubborn, you're going to get up again. Try again. You fall again, you try again. You fall again, try again. You fall again, try again. You're never going to give up on your Avodat HaShem. Why? Stubborn. Stubborn in a positive way. Stubborn in a positive way. If a person wants to be stubborn in a positive way, he will succeed. And Rabbi Elimelech says that if you want to uproot this stubbornness from your life, you have to take 40 days, consecutive days of doing the opposite of what your inner inclination is. If you're stubborn to get your way, you're stubborn not to listen, you're stubborn to ignore people, you're stubborn to think that everyone is stupid except you, you're stubborn to do things, you want to remove that stubbornness from your heart? Do the opposite for 40 consecutive days. Why 40 days? We see that the Torah holds the number 40 as something different than the rest of the numbers. Where HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the generation of Noach before the flood 40 days. They failed, the Mabul came. The Mabul came for 40 days. At Mount Sinai, after Am Yisrael fell for the trap of the Erev Rav, that sinned with the golden calf, Moshe Rabbeinu had to go back up for 40 days. He went up there for 40 days, went down, saw the golden calf, destroyed it, killed a bunch of people that sinned, went back up saying, I'm sorry on behalf of Am Yisrael for 40 days, came back down, and then went back up for another 40 days. We see that the prophet Yonah had to go to the people of Nineveh, Noahites, and told them, if you don't do tshuva, Hashem is going to destroy your entire city. 40 days. So we see that 40 days, the number 40 is like a cleansing. Same thing with a mikveh, has to be with 40 se'ah. 40 is continuously repeated in the Torah as something that has connection to renewal. But of course, this 40 days of not being stubborn only works if there's a desire within the person to change. As the Gemara says in Masechet Moed Katan, Abali Ter Mesaim Biyado. Someone that comes to be purified, meaning he wants to follow the ways of Hashem, Hashem will help him. But if somebody wants to make sins, Hashem will let him make sins. So in the case of this 40 days advice of the Tzetel Katan, it's only going to work if not only you do the opposite of what your inner inclination tells you to do, that when your boss tells you to do something that you choose to try to get out of doing it. When your mom tells you to clean up something, usually you try to not do it. When your father tells you something, you usually try to do the opposite. You're stubborn. Now all of a sudden you're going to do the opposite. Your boss tells you to do something, okay sir, I'm going to do it. Your mom tells you something, sure, I'm going to do it. Your father tells you, sure, I'm going to do it. Now if you're just going to do it for 40 days, but have resentment in your heart, who are they to tell me what to do? What do they know? I don't want to listen to them. If you're going to do it with that way, then guess what? After 40 days, you're going to be sensing a feeling of relief that you no longer have to listen to anybody and go back to all the wickedness that you did before. So the key is to desire to change, then force the change, and that will lead to the change becoming part of you, where the change comes from within, where you actually want to do it. You want to listen to your boss. You want to listen to your mother or father. You want to listen to the guidance that's being given to you, because you know it's for your best interest. One of the horrible things that we've had to see in the last couple of years is how wicked people can be in taking advantage of the good hearts of Jewish people and people that support Torah. There is a evil, disgusting filth of a human being by the name of Edan Brooks. At least that's the name that he goes by. I've told you about him some time ago. For the last couple of years, this filthy creature infiltrates Jewish WhatsApp groups, goes in there and starts contacting people in the groups saying that he's a Jew and he's poor and he needs $300 for rent and he needs $400 so he doesn't get kicked out. And this is what he's turned into his day job. He gets people's phone numbers, he starts calling them, and he starts inventing all types of lies. He's getting kicked out of his house. He needs money to rescue his dog. The rabbi told him to call this person, and he does it literally all day, every day. The truth is, he is not a follower of the Torah. He's a Rasha. I believe he's a Christian by birth. He is someone that is part of a cult. He even makes videos about how he lies to Jews. Like, the audacity of this monster has no limits. He talks about how he lies to Jews to get money out of them. And he's part of a cult.
I have a recurring problem with setting up for myself. And lying to Jews is a part, I have an addictive personality. I don't feel like I am so addicted, and but it's like there's like a certain level of like getting something done and getting a hit that is still present for me, and lying in a way or misrepresenting myself or like doing that behavior still in some ways kind of scratches the itch.
And one of the things that this guy has that's unbelievable is that he has no sense of shame whatsoever. Even after we exposed him and publicized his picture, he continues because he assumes that some people don't know that this is the same person. So he continues going into different groups, whether it's our groups or other rabbis' groups or other Jewish groups, and just contacts different people that apparently there's a din in Shamayim that maybe they didn't give enough tzedakah to the right places, so they get a wicked person to get the money out of them. Unfortunately, they have to do cheshbon nefesh also, the people that lost money to him. That why are they not giving enough tzedakah, that Hashem is sending them a wicked monster to steal their money. But nonetheless, this person doesn't care that his picture is all over the place, in the media, online, in WhatsApp groups, that stay away from this person. He continues. He even makes videos about how he lies about it. And I took a few minutes to see this disgusting creature. What is driving this person? I mean, is it just money? Is it that much hunger for money? And he talks about his life like he's not doing anything with his life. He doesn't know how to get out of his own way. And he has this excuse and that excuse. And the truth of it all is that the root cause of all of his wickedness is the next character trait. Laziness. Laziness, Rabotai Karim, could literally lead a person to commit every crime under the sun. It'll justify a person to steal, to cheat, to lie, to kill, to do anything. Just like this Edan, Rasha Merusha, that literally there is simply no way possible for this guy to fix his sins, because he has to literally remember all the money that he stole and give it all back to all the people that he stole it from. Under the pretense that he's a poor Jew, under the pretense that he's almost homeless, and the pretense that the rabbi sent him, all types of fake stories that he made. There's literally, this person is going to have such a horrible life in this world. He's going to suffer so much in this world when Hashem finally turns on the button for suffering for this person, that he will regret the day he was born. But unfortunately, there are many people like him that are not quite there, where they're not quite stealing from people yet. They're not quite lying to people to that extent yet, but they're lying to themselves. They're lying to themselves to justify their stationary lifestyle. As Shlomo HaMelech says in Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 14, Adelet tisov al tzira ve'atzel al mitato. The door turns on its hinges, and a lazy man on his bed. Furthermore, Shlomo HaMelech says about lazy people, which we'll explain in a second what they all mean. The lazy one buries his hand in the dish. He's too wary to return it to its mouth. The lazy one is wiser in his own eyes than 7 who answer sensibly. In so many words, the lazy person has every excuse under the sun to justify his behavior. The truth is, the laziness is the reason why he is where he is, which is in the same place that he has been for a very long time. He doesn't want to work. He doesn't want to earn. He doesn't want to push. He wants an excuse. Rav Pinchas, alav shalom, said, why does the Shlomo HaMelech say that the door turns on its hinges but the lazy man on his bed? Why is there a comparison? He gave an extraordinary analogy. He says, in Yeshivat Ponovich, there is a door that is in the middle of the door. There's a hinge, so it opens in both directions. Half a meter on one side, half a meter on the other side. He says there's about 1,000 bachurim learning in the yeshiva. So each time one goes out, the door opens half a meter this way and a half a meter the other way. So let's calculate how many meters this door goes every day. 1,000 bachurim go to pray in the morning. That's a half and a half. That's 1,000 meters. Those same 1,000 boys finish praying. Another 1,000 meters. Then mincha, another 1,000 meters. Then finishing mincha, another 1,000. You do the calculation, at the end of the day, there's somewhere between 10 and 15,000 meters that this door went over a year. Hundreds and thousands of meters, 10 to 15 kilometers per day, do the math. Hundreds and hundreds of kilometers per year. But where is the door at the end of the year? Exactly where it started. I mean, technically, if it went thousands of kilometers, you would think it'd be already in outer space or something. It'd be in a different country. It'd be somewhere. No. It's exactly where it was when the year started. Why? Because of the hinge. This is the hinge, Rabotai Karim. The hinge is the laziness. The hinge is the laziness. The lazy person. A lazy person does things. He does things. He doesn't just sit there and do nothing all day. He'll make a call. He'll go to the meeting. He'll apply. But he has a hinge that keeps him connected to where he started. He's not willing to get off that hinge. He's not willing to leave the state. Why? No, I grew up here. I was born here. I like it here. The weather's here. Yeah, but your opportunity is in the next state. Your opportunity is in a different country. Yeah, but it's far. But it's this. You've been learning the same Masechet already for 5 years. Yeah, but I like this one. Go to the next Masechet. No, but I know this one. I'm comfortable with this one. You've been living at home. You're already 35 years old. Move already. Move. Go. Move on with your life. No, listen, I'm saving money. I'm living with my parents. Get married. Listen, I haven't found anybody that's proper for me. Find anybody already at this point before you become a senior citizen. Before the only woman you're going to meet is the nurse that's going to have to feed you daisa every day. Okay, sir, now you open your mouth like a baby, but you're 89 years old, still single. Move already. Do something. Some people, they have a hinge. That hinge keeps them where they are. They'll make some moves. They'll go to the shiur. They'll talk to the rabbi. And they'll ask the rabbi, Rabbi, what do you think I should get as a job? I don't know, anything you get. What kind of jobs do you have as lined up? What's your skills? I could work for a trucking company. I could work for the mail. Okay, so whichever, both of them sound good. Go for it. Okay. A month later. So, Rabbi, listen, what job do you think I should get? Well, didn't you ask me that question a month ago? Yeah, but I thought maybe if I work for the trucking company, that's going to take away from my schedule, and I won't be able to wake up early because I'll be working at night. Okay, so what other opportunities do you have? Well, I thought maybe I could work in a store, and then maybe I could sell some insurance. Okay, fine. Go ahead. Go sell some insurance. Yeah, go for it. All right. 6 months later. Rabbi, what do you think kind of job I should get? I don't understand. What, they fired you from the insurance company? No, I never got the job. Why not? Well, because I thought that, insurance, it's not, I don't know if I really like it. It's like kind of like a morbid business. You talk about people being sick, people dying. Okay, fine, so get any office job. Oh, you think any office job? Yeah, any office. Just get a job. You're almost 20 years old. Get a job. Pay for something. Stop living off of your parents like a bum. Okay. Another year passes. So, Rabbi, what do you think? What kind of job I should get? Well, you're telling me you haven't worked for 2 years. You've been asking me the same question? What do you do with your time? Are you learning Torah at least the whole time? Are you like an Avrech Torah scholar? You finished the Shas 18 times? No, not really. I read a little bit of Midrash here and there. I watch your shiurim. And? No, that's it. So what do you do the rest of the day? I go sometimes to the schoolyard. I play some basketball. And sometimes I like to walk around the mall. I'll get some coffee or something. Talk to some of my friends. Oh, so you're a loser. in different words, apparently. In reality, you're a lazy bum. You don't want to do anything with your life. Go do something. Ribono shel olam. Either go become a Torah scholar or become a businessman. Do something. So what kind of job do you think I should get? Do you think I should work maybe for Uber? Yeah, Uber, fantastic. Go, drive people to places while you stay exactly where you are. No problem, at least work. Go work, go. All right. 3 years pass. Rabbi, what job do you think I should get? Wait, you're not working at Uber? Sometimes I do the Uber thing. But it's like I don't really like to drive. What do you mean you don't like to drive? Who cares if you like to drive? Do you like to eat? Yeah, I like to eat. So how do you pay for food? Oh, my mom and dad pay for it. But you're 30 years old already. You're 30 years old. Your mom and dad are still paying for you? What? You're also going to ask them to change your diaper too? Go do something. And Rabotai Karim, you think that this is one story? I had countless of these stories with kids. The generation is full of lazy bums that do nothing. Do nothing. But they justify their laziness because they say, listen, if I get a job, then I won't be able to watch so many shurim. Rabbi, I watch like five of your shurim per day. 5 of my shurim per day. If you're not a rabbi already, there's something wrong with you. You're not watching. You're probably playing video games while you're watching. 5 of my shurim per day. You should be a giant in Kiruv. Do something useful in your life. You're not learning anything. You're just watching it like it's a commercial. But they justify their misbehavior. They justify their laziness because they say, listen, I'm doing something good. I'm watching shurim, or I'm reading a book, or I'm helping my mother, or I have errands to do. They're always busy with nothing. So in reality, the lazy person, he's doing something. He's not sitting home and just eating beastly and bamba all day, eating potato chips. No, he'll go out, he'll go pray, he'll go to the supermarket, get a couple of things, put it on the counter. He doesn't mind waiting online for 45 minutes, even though he has 2 items, and he can go to the shortcut. No, he has all day. He takes his time, he's relaxed. I like to take it easy, I like it slow. And everything is slow motion, and he occupies his day. He's just looking to occupy his day. And Rabotai Karim, do you know how many of these there are? And what ends up happening with these people? Unfortunately, the laziness does not take away the desire. So what ends up happening with these same lazy bums that occupy the same earth we live in, they find ways to make lazy money. How? Stealing, cheating, corruption, anything they can do with the least amount of effort. So they'll go work for somebody for just enough time to find out how they can steal from them, either by not working the amount of hours they're supposed to. The boss is really paying them for a full-time job, 40 hours a week. In reality, you're lucky if they work 20. The rest of the time, they're just hanging out. Or they take some stuff from the office, or they steal some software, or they have another job on the side that they do something else, stealing from somebody else. Or what's been happening in the last couple of years is they get into all types of scandals, where you have this modern day Sodom and Gomorrah cryptocurrency industry that literally permits fraud in the open on a daily basis, where you have young people tell the internet that they're starting a new project, they call it, a new project, to go and do something that they don't even have any clue about. And if you go and buy this cryptocurrency, it could be the next Bitcoin that goes to 100,000 from nothing. And I have some major celebrities that also like to live off of other people's laziness, because their own laziness. They're funding it. They're putting $1 million or $10 million into it. And guess what? What happens with these people? They get a bunch of naive, lazy people to buy into it, put money into it. You get 10, 20, $30 million into this thing. And literally within the same 24 hours, they do something that's called a rug pull, which is pretty much take out all of the profits out of the system in an instant, and the whole investment goes down 99%. All of the people that bought into it lose money. The only one that gains are the people the guy that promoted, the head lazy chief lazy officer. and whoever is partners with him. And of course, they always blame each other. They blame, I didn't know, they're going to do this, they're going to do this. This, Rabotai, I was in the investment world for almost 20 years. If you even thought about something like this and said it publicly, you'd go to jail. If somebody makes any type of corruption in a stock or bond business, they go to jail. Just recently, they sentenced the guy that had a fraudulent stock. He pretended like his father's deli makes tens of millions of dollars. In reality, it's just a deli that sells pasta for $3.99. And guess what? His father and him are both going to spend the rest of their lives in jail for a stock fraud, which, there's a limited amount of actual damage. Certainly less than what the cryptocurrency is doing to people on a daily basis. But in cryptocurrency, it's 100% allowed. 100% allowed. What's the root of all of this? Laziness. People do not want to work hard. They want free money. They want quick money. They want quick results without effort. They think that's being ambitious. They think that's being smart. No. The root of it is laziness. Laziness comes from arrogance because you don't think you need to work. Everybody else does. Laziness comes from selfishness. You care less about anybody else but yourself. Laziness is not just he doesn't want to work or he doesn't want to try. Laziness is rooted in evil. And unfortunately, Rabotai, laziness destroys lives. There are sometimes people that they pretend to learn, but really nothing comes out of them. They go to the yeshiva, they go and learn, but in reality, you see the guy's learning. You ask him any question, he doesn't know anything. Okay, listen, we're seeing that you're not going to become anything special. Why don't you at least write some children's books or write something to, help the family, do something? No, I just like... In reality, sometimes it's because he's lazy. Sometimes it's because he's lazy. You see, sometimes people pretend like they're learning, they're smoking cigarettes all day. They give the rest of the tzaddikim, the rest of the Torah scholars a bad name because the Reshaim always look to see who's outside the Bet Midrash, to see who's smoking cigarettes all day and say, that's probably all 100,000 tzaddikim are doing the same thing as these 5 people. And that's unfortunately what happens. Sometimes there are lazy people. Sometimes wives come crying and say, listen, my husband doesn't want to do anything. What do you mean he doesn't want to do anything? You mean he doesn't like his job? No, he hasn't worked. What, in the last week? In the last month? No, he hasn't worked in the last 5 years. So how do you eat? Well, I work. Well, who takes care of the kids? Well, the kids are in school. Okay, fine. So what does he do all day? Does he cook and clean at least? No, he doesn't cook and clean. So what does he do all day? He watches videos, he talks to his friends. How are you still married to this loser? How do you survive such a relationship? No, he doesn't like it. He thinks that the business world is corrupt. He thinks that, money is really fake. No. All that's nonsense. He needs money to eat, so he likes money. He needs money to pay rent. He likes money. Business corrupt, no corrupt. Okay, go find a different corrupt. Go work for the hospital, save people's lives. I don't know. Go work for a veterinarian and save dogs if you like dogs more than people. Whatever you go do something. Go work for the sanitation department. Clean garbage. What's the corruption there? Garbage. Everybody needs a removal of garbage. Oh no, the mafia is behind it. Who said work for the mafia? Go work for the garbage. The garbage, not the mafia. Don't kill people. Just get the garbage out. I take the garbage out on Mondays. You take it, pick from my house, you put it in the garbage truck. No, he wants something clean. The reality is, he's full of it. He's lazy. And unfortunately, that type of horrible, evil character trait cannot be removed by anyone else other than the person himself. And sometimes what Hashem does to force a person to do that is sometimes he'll give him a lot of problems. Forcing the person to do something to save their own life. But that doesn't necessarily always happen to people. At least not before major crisis happens. And unfortunately, Rabotai Karim, a lot of times people have an endless list of excuses of why they are doing the evil that they're doing, why they're stealing, why they're cheating from their customers, why they're cheating the government, why they're cheating on this, why they're lying this. The root of it, many times, is because of laziness. Many times because of laziness. The same thing about that horrible predatory industry that I've been talking about for the last several years, merchant cash advance business. The most predatory, horrific industry on the face of the planet right now. And many times, people go into that business naive, thinking that, oh, it's just an opportunity to make money. Yeah, okay. You could pretend like you're naive and you don't know that there's something wrong there, that you with no skills, no verbal skills, no reading skills, no selling skills, no skills in anything else other than just simply saying hello, are somehow going to make $10,000, $20,000 a month 2 months into it. You think that's normal. Fine, go into it. But 6 months into it, when you see that your original customers that fell for your trap and bought your product and borrowed the money now are declaring bankruptcy because the loan you gave them is predatory and impossible to pay off, and you see that you've destroyed their business that they worked on for 20 years. 20 years, 30 years, they haven't slept normally because they're trying to pay the bills on time. 20 years, 30 years, they're trying to figure out how to stay ahead of the curve so they can actually pay their taxes, pay their bills, pay their employees, and still have food to eat. 20, 30 years, they're slaving to build something that's worth anything. And you just took it in 6 months just for your $10,000, $20,000 commission. There's nobody that's a bigger piece of garbage than you are in the world right now for that person, and really in Shemaim. But you think that's normal in the beginning because you think, oh yeah, well listen, I got this guy $200,000. I'm helping them. Okay, fine. Let's say you're that naive and that stupid that you think that you're actually helping them on day one with an 80% interest. Let's say 6 months later when he declares bankruptcy, you still think you're helping him? Then you say, no, maybe it's just a one-off. No. All of your initial clients from month one will declare bankruptcy within the first 12 months. All of them, with no exception, unless somebody won the lotto. Every single one of them will declare bankruptcy. So, of course, maybe in the beginning, all of those young people that go into the cash advance business are naive and foolish and don't realize that it's a predatory business. But 6 months into it, 12 months into it, everyone knows, every single person that I've spoken to from that industry has told me it was only a matter of time before everybody knew that it's a predatory business, that it's horrible, that it's evil, that it's bad, and a bunch of other descriptions. Everyone knows. So why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? Listen, where can I make that kind of money in a short period of time? Where can I make that kind of money? Oh, so the root of what your evil is laziness. The root of your evil is laziness. You're not willing to work hard to make that same kind of money. Or perhaps you're not willing to do what it takes to do business honestly. Certainly there's greed. Certainly there's arrogance. Certainly there's a bunch of other things that stem from that. But one of the roots is lazy. Lazy. And Rabotai Karim, laziness can make a person stand in the same exact place, whether that same exact place is doing nothing, full of excuses, or doing evil, full of excuses. Laziness will keep a person there. Why? Because that's the hinge. That's the hinge, Rabotai Karim, that unfortunately keeps a lot of people where they are. You know, it took a lot of time and effort to study for this lecture, and every lecture changes my life a little bit. And I hope it does to you as well. If you're enjoying it, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share with people that you care about, people that you know could benefit from it. You may end up changing their life. Thanks again for learning with me, and Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll continue growing together. Now back to the lecture. I remember when I used to give live shiurim in Aventura, in Miami over there, a few times a week. Every shiur that I would give, at the end of the shiur, the guys would come up, the girls would come up, ask questions, and I would do my best to help them. And Baruch Hashem, some people really transformed their life, but some people would ask the same questions almost every week. And I realized that this is a chronic problem. Guy tells me, listen, Rabbi, I really want to go into a relationship even though I'm not married. Well, buddy, get married and then go. No, but I'm too young, but I'm too this. Okay, fine. A year later, same thing. Listen, Rabbi, okay, so get married. No, but okay. Guess what? 10 years have passed. 10 years have passed. He's still asking the same questions. Now he can get married. Now he's already in his 20s. But no, he still has other excuses. And the guy with the job, still excuses. And the guy with the learning, still excuses. There's some people that watch Torah lectures for 10 years and they don't change. 10 years they watch Torah lectures, they are still stuck on one topic and one topic only. Whether it be Mashiach or some other topic that they listen, everything that they know is about this topic. You ask him about Mashiach, he can tell you the date, the time, the name, the address, everything. Ask him about Ilchot Shabbat, they don't know anything. Ask him about character traits, you see the person acts like an animal. Nothing has changed. 10 years, nothing has changed. Why? Lazy. Laziness is not doing. Laziness is refusing to move from where you are. So you'll take a step forward and a step back. A step forward, step back. Just like the door with the hinge. It opens on one side, it closes. Opens, closes. Opens, closes. Takes one step, step back. Rabbi Elimelech of Lizhenk says it's salvation for this too is 40 days of acting against your lazy nature. Because if you let the lazy Yetzer Hara into your system even a little bit, he will indeed take over, chas v'shalom. The Gemara in Masechet Brachot, page 54a, says, Ve'afta et Hashem Elokecha, b'kol levavecha. Love Hashem with all of your heart. With both your Yetzer Hatov, your good inclination, and your Yetzer Hara, your evil inclination. So loving him with your good inclination is understandable. Want to do good. But how can you love him with your evil inclination? Use that bad trait that you have already in you for good. Stubborn. Stubborn when you fall, get up again. Stubborn when you fall, you make a sin, get up again. Don't give up. Don't become an idol worshiper. Same concept with laziness. One of your friends calls you to go make sins, tell him no. Be lazy, I'm too tired to make sins. One of the people asks you to go to a party that you know is going to be mixed dancing. No, listen, it's too late. Lazy when it comes to sins. You can use your Yetzer Hara for good things. But if a person does not put the Yetzer Hara under control, that Yetzer Hara is going to come to you with every excuse under the sun to tell you why you can't do. And you shouldn't move. And it'll keep you exactly where you are, and that'll finish you. And Rabbi Elimelech says the solution is go, 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 keep going, moving. Don't be one of these people that has the excuse where it comes in the morning, oh, I'm tired. Everybody's tired in the morning. Who's not tired in the morning? Yeah, but maybe I'm sick. Are you sick? I don't know, I heard in the news, there's some type of flu. Maybe I got it. Huh? You coughing? No, but I feel maybe I'm going to cough. Oh, so you're lazy. No. Maybe it's a flu. Maybe I'm sick. Maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm just supposed to sleep more. Maybe I'm supposed to just take the day off. Maybe, yesterday I had a tough day. What? What does it have to do with yesterday? Today's a new day. Today's a new day. Get up. Go do something. People are lazy. People are lazy. And unfortunately, this is not just in the working world, the business world, it's also in the Torah world. Sometimes a person is too lazy to learn. He'll have every excuse under the sun. Yeah, I'm going to learn, but first I have to go to my accountant and I have to ask him about what happened 3 years ago in the taxes. Okay, fine. After they finish that, okay, so you're going to learn now? Well, now I have to call my doctor because the doctor said that I should call him. Okay. And after he calls the doctor, what about now? Well, I have to eat. All right, fine. And after they eat, well, listen, I got to relax a little bit. Got to relax because I just ate. I got to digest. Okay, fine. After they digest, well, now I have to talk to my wife. I can't just not talk to my wife. Okay, fine. After I talk to the wife, you're gonna learn now? I'm kind of tired now. Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll try again tomorrow. The next day, well, today I got to do work because I didn't really work yesterday because I went to the doctor and the accountant. Okay, so you work for the accountant. Okay, fine. What about after you finish that? Yeah, I'm going to go to the shiur. Have the shiur, didn't show up to the shiur. What happened? You didn't come to the shiur. Yeah, listen, my car was making a noise on the way to the shiur, and I figured, you know what? The guy at the lot is still open. Maybe I could just go to him quickly and finish fixing the car before the shiur. But you know what? I went to him, and he didn't finish before the shiur, so I had to miss the shiur. Okay, fine. And the guy says, listen to the rabbi, I'll come to the next shiur. Okay, fine. The next day, the rabbi says, no, did you come to the shiur? Listen, rabbi, I want to come to the shiur, but I didn't have a shirt. What do you mean you didn't have a shirt? I have this shirt, this white shirt, but at work, I spilled some ketchup on it. So I can't come to the shiur with a ketchup on it, so I had to put it in the laundry. What, I'm going to come with no shirt? So I didn't come. All right, fine. The next day, you're going to come to the shiur? Yeah, I'm going to come to the shiur. The next day, the guy didn't come to the shiur. Rabbi says, how come you didn't come to the shiur? Rabbi, the shirt was ready. Problem is, the pants. The pants, I spilled something on them today. One of the kids played. I spilled something on the pants. And I can't come to the shiur with some wet pants. It's not comfortable, you know? All right, fine. The next day, Rabbi has a shiur. You're going to come to the shiur? Yeah, I'm definitely coming to the shiur. You have a shirt? Yeah, I have a shirt. You have pants? I have pants. All right, the next day, you have to come to the shiur. The rabbi comes there and says, no, how come you didn't come to the shiur? He says, tell you the truth, Rabbi, I didn't think you're going to have the shiur. What do you mean? Why? I told you I was going to have the shiur. I was going to have the shiur. You didn't come because you didn't have the pants and the shirt. Did you have the pants and the shirt today? Yeah, I had. So why didn't you come to the shiur? I was on the way to the shiur, and I passed by the rabbi's house, and I saw that there is pants and shirt hanging, drying. So I figured the rabbi is definitely not coming to the shiur without a pants and shirt if they're drying on the pole. So I figured there's no shiur. So he didn't think that the rabbi has more than one pants. He didn't think that the rabbi has more than one shirt. No, it's not that he didn't think. He was looking for an excuse not to come. The lazy person is always looking for an excuse to stay close to the hinge, to stay close to the excuse of why I don't have to get up and try harder. I don't have to read another Mishnah. I don't have to finish another Masechet. Yeah, but Hashem gave you a great brain, a brain that you could finish an entire Masechet in one day, a great brain that can make you one of the Gedolei Ador. Why aren't you using it? Why are you still acting like a child? Well, listen, let me just take my time. Why? Why take your time? If you have this gift, why take this time? Rabotai Karim, a person can give themselves every excuse under the sun to justify their behavior. And unfortunately, they don't realize the damage that they're causing themselves. The Chovot HaLevavot gives us a little bit of insight. A little bit of insight, Rabotai, that if we could only listen to the Chovot HaLevavot, our problems would be solved. When it comes to the wholehearted devotion to Hashem, the Chovot HaLevavot first tells us that this is a process. The first step of this process of devoting yourself to Hashem is acknowledging Hashem's unity, meaning that there's nothing else but Him. He is the source of your blessings. He is the source of your problems. He is the only God. He is the only power. There's only one God. There's no human version of Him. He doesn't need you. You need Him. Second is reflecting on Hashem's blessings on you, which are continually bestowed upon us. When a person is lazy in bed, lazy in his same place that he's been in or she's been in for a long time, doesn't want to move. Think about all the blessings that Hashem gave you, even though you're not doing anything for it. Imagine how much more He can give you, and He will give you, if you try even a little more. Third, to assume the service of Hashem, meaning to take upon yourself that, yes, my role in the world is to serve Hashem. If a person understands that their role in the world is to serve Hashem, already they understand that they cannot stay stationary. Fourth, embracing reliance on Him, on Hashem, and not on human beings. So for all of those that use the excuse, listen, I don't want to work because, there's corruption, or because there's evil, and because of this, because of that. Listen, your source of blessing is not the people, it's not the company. Hashem will send you the blessing. Just make sure that whatever you're doing is not corrupt, whatever you're doing is not stealing, whatever you're doing is not cheating, and you're fine. Hashem will send you the blessings. not a person, not a boss, not a partner, not a takeover, not a buyout. Hashem will send you the blessings. He is the only one that can help you or hurt you. No person in the world can help you or harm you if it's not the will of Hashem. The sixth is indifference to people's praise or insult. This is a critical part. A critical part of happiness. Many times people's moods are based on what other people say about them. Oh, you heard what she said about you? Oh, you heard what he said about you? And after they hear it, everyone is naturally upset. If they got an insult, oh, how could they say this about me? I helped them. I was there for her when she was giving birth, when she was first married. We were friends when we were in school. We were this. How could she say that? I can't believe it. That was a secret. And people are upset. Or when it's a compliment, they also get upset. Oh, that's it? That's all she said? She only said that I'm nice to her? That's it? Just nice? She didn't say that I saved her life? She didn't say that I'm the one that was responsible for her getting married? She didn't say that I took her to the hospital. She didn't say even the compliment they're upset about. Why? People that look for honor will never have enough honor. The key to success and happiness in life, indifferent, completely careless about what people say, whether it's compliments or it's insults. If you know you're doing the right thing, what do you care what people think? If you know what you're doing is wrong, then you're enough to know to change. You don't need people to tell you to change. If you're stealing, you don't need people to tell you to stop stealing. You know it's wrong, stop it. If you're cheating and you know that, you don't need people to tell you to catch you in order for you to know to stop. Stop. But if you're doing the good things, if you're following the way of Hashem, what do you care if people like it, agree with it, dislike it? What difference does it make to you? When you care about what other people think, you're bound to have a miserable life. Oh, I can't believe it. What happened? I wanted to say hello, just to break the ice. And she gave me that look again. What look? What'd she say to you? No, she didn't say anything. She said hello. She was nice and everything. But she gave me that look again. What look? What is this look? It's in your imagination. Maybe she has a lazy eye. Maybe she was looking somewhere else. Maybe she has problems she doesn't want to tell you about. What look? What look? It's all in your mind. Everybody's about the looks. She looked at me. She said this word. She's not sensitive to me. She's not. What do you care about what people say? What do you care? Why is your whole life's happiness cycle constantly crashing as a result of other people's words or looks or ways? What do you care? Just go in the right path and you'll be okay. But many people don't. They're constantly moved by other people's words, by other people's behavior. And unfortunately, that is a guarantee for a miserable life. Why? It's impossible to have everyone love you. Impossible. And if you're constantly looking for love from the wrong place, it's impossible to get enough love. In so many words, you'll be miserable. But if you have your husband, your wife, depending on obviously the gender, your kids, you're already a winner. Build a house, build a family. You have one good friend. Oh, you're luckier than someone who won the lotto. But you're looking for this one to like you, and for that one to look at you with the right vision and the right eyes and the right this, and everyone to be happy when they see you. Ooh, you're expecting for a perfect world. You're looking for Gan Eden in this world. Habibi, people have problems. They can't look at you with a smile all the time. This is not a fixed world. It's not a olam metukan. Fix yourself and you'll fix the world. But unfortunately, people are constantly fighting with each other, tearing each other apart because of their own issues, not because of the other person. You have an ego, so you expect everyone to bow to you when they hear your words. You have arrogance, so you expect everyone to look at you in a certain way. You have this deep desire for recognition, so you hope that everyone compliments everything you do. Why does everyone have to suffer because you are somebody that's deformed? Fix yourself and no one else has to suffer. And until then, stop caring. The reality is, Rabotai, to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, this is also necessary. Because if you are caring and spending your energy about what other people are saying about you constantly, guess what? You're going to cry to Hashem about the wrong things. Instead of crying to Hashem to be able to serve Him better, to give your kids blessings so they grow up to be tzaddikim, to give your husband the parnasah that he needs to support the family and grow, to give the wife the health she needs to carry the kids and to raise them, to praise the world of Torah. If you're not going to pray for things like that, what are you going to pray with? Oh, Hashem, help me. I don't know why everyone's against me. I went to her house. I wanted to say hi because, she was having a tough time. Her husband just left. And I came to her and she gave me an attitude. Why is she against me? I really tried to help her. And, this also happened with the other one. I went to our house and I brought food and she didn't even eat it. Why didn't she eat my food? Why, she doesn't like my food? Why don't she just say it to my face? Oh, and Hashem, and the kids, they didn't really want to go to sleep last night, so I wasn't able to watch my show, and I really missed my show. Why did you have me miss my show? And literally, this is what people are going to pray to Hashem about. They're going to pray about the stupidest things in the world. They have an opportunity to pray to Hashem, the King of Kings, and they're going to pray to Him about the stupidest things in the world. Why? Because that's where their mind is. That's where their mind is. Their mind is in junk. They're going to think about this one that ate her cooking, this one that didn't eat her cooking, this one that looked at her, didn't look at her, this one has a longer wig, this one has a shorter wig, this one has a new car, how come I don't have a car, how come they have a bigger house, how come she found a zivug? What do you care about other people? What do you care about other people? This is the sixth thing. Indifference to people's praise or insults. Seventh, refraining from currying favor with other people. This doesn't really need much explanation. Doesn't need much explanation. If your whole life revolves around favors, it's going to be very difficult. Why? It's the guilt. The guilt that a person feels when there's a favor due to them or they owe. It's a problem that could lead to bad things. The eighth, clearing one's heart of worldly matters when working for the world to come. Now, the Chovot HaLevavot is not saying clearing your heart from worldly matters, period. All he's saying is clear your heart from worldly matters when working for the world to come. Meaning, you're working, you're making money, you're doing whatever you got to do. Hopefully it's honest and decent and moral. Fine. When you're doing that, when you're working for whatever company you're working for, whether you're making videos or you're settling cases in court or you're helping people take medicine, whatever it is that you're doing, do what you have to do. But when you go and pray, pray. When you go and learn Torah, learn Torah. Don't continue thinking about work and business and money and what people think of you and what they said about you and what's the interview of you and what's the that of you. When you're praying to Hashem, when you're learning His Torah, at least when you're serving Hashem and you're doing things for the world to come, don't think about the worldly matters. Think about Hashem. Think about serving Hashem. The same concept goes when you're giving tzedakah. Don't think about, listen, if I give this tzedakah, then maybe I won't be able to afford buying another house or going to a vacation. Listen, Habibi, you know that giving tzedakah is a blessing that for you, not for Hashem. Hashem doesn't need you. If you constantly think about worldly matters, it's going to become more difficult for you to give. Everybody has an easy time giving when they don't have much. Oh, yeah, I give maaser, Rabbi. Yeah, what's the maaser? $10? Yeah, I made 100. I give maaser. Okay. Maybe next time I'll give a chomesh. I'll give 20. Okay, fine. Then when the guy makes $10,000 a month, listen, you gave the maaser? Yeah, no, not really. It's not maaser anymore. It's a little hard right now. What happened? Listen, I made 10,000. To give 1,000 is a lot of money. Maybe I'll need it next month. So I gave the $10. That was good in the past. That brought me blessings. And chas for shalom, if he makes 100,000, for him to give $10,000, you crazy, Rabbi? Come on, it's a lot of money. You don't need that kind of money. You don't need that kind of money. So, a person that's constantly thinking of worldly matters is going to have a hard time serving Hashem. Why? Because we're not saying don't think about worldly matters when you're working. We're saying don't think about worldly matters when you're serving Hashem. The ninth is being in awe of Hashem and diffident before Him. Understand that Hashem does not need you. Understand that fearing Him is a mitzvah from the Torah. The Rambam puts it as the 4th mitzvah in his Sefer HaMitzvot. Fear of Hashem, not fear of His awe and majesty and everything, also fear from punishment. When you're praying to Hashem, whether it's Mincha, Arvit, or Shachrit, whether it's just reading Tehillim, talking to Him, Yitbodedut, whatever it is that you do, understand that Hashem is next to you. Don't answer your phone. Don't talk to somebody. Don't chit-chat with each other because you're waiting for somebody else to finish praying. Hashem is there. The 10th, consulting the intellect whenever evil thoughts enter the heart and accepting the counsel of the intellect rather than one's baser instincts. In so many words, the Chovot HaLevavot says that if you want to serve Hashem wholeheartedly, use your brain. A whole lot more than you use your heart. Why? Because your heart is going to lead you to laziness. It's going to lead you to stubbornness. And when it comes down to the benefit that young people have and young parents have, when it comes to these teachings, the Sefer Hasidim writes 600 years ago, in section 558, as follows. The essence of piety is to train yourself at all times to abstain from those things from which you have the strongest cravings, such as evil gossip, sensuality, wasting time, lying, gazing at women, talking about worldly oddities, or walking around idly, doing nothing. You will be able to overcome your desire for these things only if you have been prepared for it from childhood. Therefore, you should train your children in these matters while they are still small, and when they grow up, they will not deviate from your teachings. As the Torah says in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6, train a lad in the way he ought to go, he will not swerve from it even in old age. Habits a person has adopted in childhood, he will find extremely difficult to break when he grows up, because habit becomes second nature. Furthermore, says the Sefer Hasidim, if a person has a strong attachment to Torah, mitzvot, and good deeds, it becomes difficult for him to abandon them because of the embarrassment. People will say that all that he has done so far has been to mislead people. In so many words, if you teach your kids good manners because you know now that you wish you could have learned them when you were young, then guess what? You're in essence, doing a tikkun for yourself in the process as well. Number one, you're going to learn through teaching. Number two, you're not going to have a kid following the bad footsteps that you used to have. These are critical things. Number three, the greatest blessing in this world is that you won't suffer from the bad traits that your kid will have if you don't teach him properly. Now, the Sharet Teshuvah, Rabbeinu Yonah, writes in the first gate, desire which is lodged in the heart is the root of all of one's activities. And therefore, if he corrects his desires and all his limbs are drawn towards the intellect, subordinating themselves and serving its needs, rather than serving the desires, this will rectify all his activities. As Shlomo HaMelech says in Mishle chapter 21 verse 8, but one who is pure, his actions are upright. This verse also says in chapter 13 verse 19, Shlomo HaMelech says, broken desire is sweet to the soul. So, the process of changing your traits is not easy. But Shlomo HaMelech promises us, in the name of the Torah, that once you break it, you'll actually feel a pleasure unlike anything else. Once you overcome your laziness or stubbornness, which is difficult, you'll actually feel good for it. A whole lot more than people that lose a whole lot of weight and now they're happy that they are skinny. A whole lot more than people that overcome a difficult surgery and now they're healthy. A whole lot more than people that are married and they used to be lonely. A whole lot more than that. Why? Because that sense of achievement that you have with other things is temporary. And it's also something that doesn't necessarily give you constant pleasure. But overcoming laziness will give you a constant sense of pleasure. Because now you've transformed your life. Instead of being the lethargic, lazy person that has a hard time moving, a hard time deciding, a hard time going, now you're the exact opposite. You go, go, go. You keep going. You get up in the morning. You do this. You do that. You make the call. You go someplace. You're doing something constantly. To such an extent that even the basics of life have changed. You eat fast. You shower fast. You go to sleep fast. You wake up fast. And you end up achieving a whole lot more. Especially now that you're not harping on the past. You're not harping on the mistakes. You're not harping on the losses. You're not harping on the failures. You're harping on the next move. This is one of the things that the Satan tries to get people to do, which is to harp on the past and be miserable about the bad decisions they made yesterday and last week and last year and last life. And what's my previous Gilgul? What difference does it make to you what your previous Gilgul is? What difference does it make to you what you did yesterday? Just do something better today. You can't change yesterday. You can't change last week. You can't change last year. You can't even change 5 minutes ago. All you can change is right this second. Do something this second to make the next second better. Okay, so you made mistakes yesterday. You failed a test. You didn't do your work. You said some bad things. Whatever it is, fine. Do better now. Do better now. Move forward now. Don't stay stagnant and lazy and doing nothing, harping and wallowing in your misery. That's not going to get you out of the misery. Go forward, do something. Even Napoleon, who was a brilliant person, evil but brilliant, understood the deadly nature or results that come from the nature of laziness. They say about him that once, as he's in his camp, they're in the middle of a war. Obviously, he had to show himself as constantly a strong leader, more than just winning wars, but strong nature. So one morning he calls all of his generals, and he tells them, I want to tell you guys a story. Last night, after a tough day, I went in my camp to sleep, but suddenly I had a strong urge for a cup of water. I was really, really thirsty. Now, I didn't have water next to me. I knew to get the water, I have to get dressed, I have to go to the well, get the water out of there, and then drink. But then if I go do that, then I'm submitting to the desire for water, the lust for water. Well, it's going to beat me. But if I don't go, then it's laziness. Maybe I'm not going because I'm lazy. I don't feel like getting up. So what do you think I should have done? So of course, they're all conversating. They're debating. No, listen. It's better that he doesn't drink because, what, to submit to the lust of going, material things, eating, drinking. No, you don't want the leader to be that way. The other hand said, no, but if he doesn't go, maybe it's out of laziness. So they're debating. He goes, let me tell you what I did. Napoleon says, I got up. Put my clothes on. I went to the well. I got the water. I carried the water all the way back to my camp, into my tent. I put the cup of water right next to my bed, and I went to sleep. That way, I didn't fall for the lust of water or laziness. Wow! Bravo! 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 The Baalei Musar say, yes, Napoleon defeated the trait of laziness, and he defeated the trait of lust for the water, but he did not defeat the trait for the lust of honor. And it's very likely, as Rabbi Ephraim says, that he did this whole thing. The primary motivation for him to do this whole thing is simply to tell the story the next day so everyone can say, bravo, bravo. Many times people will do things because they need people's praises. Don't be one of those people. Give praises for that's due for other people, but don't look for it. Why? Because your greatest motivation should come from within. You should want to succeed because you can. And Hashem gave you the ability to do so. And you can try at least. But if you're constantly going to look for praises, you're going to constantly look for people to say bravo, you're going to be a very, very sad person. Because if that ends up motivating you to prove everyone wrong, then the motivation itself is insufficient to get you to remove laziness, remove stubbornness, remove the bad traits out of your life. And if a person wants to be happy, they have to remove these things. Because they're literally spiritual cancers from within that most people don't even realize exist. This, Rabotai Karim, is what we can learn today and understand how it applies to each and every person's life. Even in the world of halacha, Chachamim applied this even to other Talmidei Chachamim. One of the Rishonim, the Rabbi Israel Iserlan, wrote in his response to the Trumat edition, when it came to using turning tables while you're studying Torah. You're studying Torah, you're learning a book, and you need the book that's on the other side of the desk. It's a big table. Now they had turning tables, they could just turn the table and get the book. The Trumat edition writes, yes, you can use the turning table, but it's better that you don't. It's better that you get up and go get the Sefer. Because that extra effort gives honor to the Torah, shows that you loved it to the Torah, and will end up helping you in your learning, giving you more siyata dishmaya in your learning, and you'll end up remembering the Torah that you learned. Meaning that to overcome that laziness is not just for the sake of succeeding in business, or marriage, or learning Torah, but everything. If you could overcome these character traits, you could overcome anything. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we will all do, and we will all succeed. Thank you very much for learning with me. May Hashem bless each and every single person that learns and supports the organization. You can donate on Be'ezratHashem.org. You can watch many more shiurim on our YouTube channel and on our app, Be'ezrat Hashem app. Subscribe, like, share. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we use these teachings to get closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to serve Him better, and Be'ezrat Hashem in the process also become good representations of His Torah. Thank you very much. Kol tu b'chava tzlacha.
I'd like to introduce you to your new best friend. We did it. AI Rabbi is here. It's an AI model that is based on kosher Torah sources, 30 different languages that are available to you. So if you want to ask it in Spanish, in Chinese, Portuguese, whatever you want to do, it's available for you. Can you tell me about Rabbi Akiva? So it's timestamped to the shiur. You press this green button, AI Rabbi on your WhatsApp. You'll have the ability to ask questions at will. You'll be provided sources, and most importantly, you'll be able to know the truth and be able to rely on the sources.